I am worth trillions, yet I saw my beloved wife cheating with my own eyes. But I stayed silent and walked into their room. The messy sheets told me everything. That evening she drove home in the luxury car I bought her. I greeted her like nothing happened. Hello there. And she froze, because I came back one day early. She still forced a warm hug. I said I love you on purpose. She replied without much feeling.
I know.
Then she hurried upstairs, but I had no intention of letting her go. Does he? Mrs. Smith? That was the code she used when meeting that man. At that moment she knew the affair was exposed, so she apologized. But I knew she was not truly sorry. My anger finally broke. I raised a gun at my wife's back. When she turned around, it was already too late. The gunshot alerted the nearby gardener. He came over to ask what had happened. I picked up the gun again and fired several shots at the window to scare him away. This was not because anger took control of me. In fact, I already had a careful plan for revenge. I moved my wife's body, wiped the fingerprints off the shell casings, and rearranged the scene again. I burned the clothes that might have blood on them, and washed my whole body with hot water. I could not let any gunpowder smell stay on me. After everything was done, I did not leave, because I was waiting to give someone a special gift. Soon the police surrounded my estate, and I received a call from Sheriff Robert. He did not need to say much. I opened the gate without hesitation. After checking the cameras to confirm who was coming in, I leaned out and spoke to them. I told them only Sheriff Robert could enter. Otherwise, I would not cooperate. To ensure safety, he negotiated with me at the gate, and we both put down our guns. At that moment, he did not know he had made a fatal mistake, because everything I had done was to wait for him. He was my wife's lover. They had only used code names before, and never knew each other's real identity. I signaled him to look at the floor, and calmly told him that I had killed my wife. He followed my gaze and finally realized. The woman lying there was the one he loved. He rushed to her in panic and found she still had a weak pulse. At that moment, I walked behind him with the gun. He suddenly grabbed it and slammed me to the ground in rage. Several officers rushed in and pulled us apart, and my wife was sent to the hospital. Robert stared at me with hatred as I was arrested, but he had no idea the real show had just begun. The bullet was stuck in my wife's skull, and she would most likely never wake up again. So I was only charged with attempted murder, and I refused legal aid. I did not hire a lawyer to defend myself. The more I gave up, the more uneasy Robert became, because they found no evidence in my house. The only gun in my house had never been fired. Soon, it was time for the trial, and the gardener testified honestly about what he saw and heard. But that could not prove that I did it. I ignored their conversation and continued drawing. Even when the judge asked if I had objections, I said no. The opposing lawyer grew anxious. He did not know what I was planning. Then Robert took the stand as a witness and said that night I confessed to him that I had killed my wife, and that I was completely conscious at the time. The lawyer became excited, finally having a